Riz. What's good, y'all? We're back. Another episode, Flagrant Two with X and Lou. Uh Damn, what's this? Episode 3? Season 2?
Episode 3. Yeah.
Alrighty. For those of you who haven't done so already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that comment, man. Comment, yeah, leave us some comments. We do, well, he doesn't, but I do. I answer back on the comments. All right. I will argue with you. I'm just saying you don't interact with them on the main page. You may do it on your own page. You don't do it on the main one. I do it on the main one. You know, I'll argue with you. I'll argue with you.
My bad. Clearly, I'm unprofessional.
He's unprofessional. He be gaslighting me.
Oh Lord, hey, look, we don't want to set no bad reviews, man. Trying to get sponsored and stuff. Yeah. But I'm gonna blame somebody else, and it starts with stream and ends with lab.
Oh, that's
yarn.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's go to these topics, man. Yo, is it a Knicks overreaction or a historic Celtics night? I'm gonna let you take the floor. I'm disgusted.
I think it's a little bit of both. Because people are gonna overreact. It's the first game. Yep. It's the Knicks. You already got such high hopes. So we throw high standards. So for you to get smoked game 1 against the defending champs, who you're supposed to be in contention with, like it's 1 and there's 2, and now you looking like your 2 is so far down compared to their 1.
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of overreactions. But then again, it's a night where these guys tied the 3-point record for a team. And honestly, they were supposed to break it. But, those last threes, they chucked up like 13 threes and none of them went in. Like,
it was on the bench. It was
on the bench. But at the end of the day, if you give me 13 threes,
yeah,
and they were like wide open, I'm going to make one.
Yeah, I'm going to hit one. 1 out of 13. I'm going to hit one.
These are professionals. Yeah. Give me one.
Yeah.
So I got to give some class to the Celtics, though. We're resident New Yorkers at the end of the day. I might not like New York like that anymore. Like, I'm not like a diehard fan like I once was. But I still have mad love. And I got to give respect to the Celtics for not chucking up that last 3 just to make it history.
Yeah.
And just letting the clock run out. Classy move.
That was classy. That was classy. What wasn't classy was the fact that all off season, all Olympics, all finals, we was bagging on Jason Tatum, and then he comes out and just shoots like 7 for 11 from 3. Like
he made 8. He had 8 threes.
He made 8. Jeez, man. They just couldn't miss. No. It seemed like even with closeouts, guys in their face, like it doesn't matter. Drew Holiday taking uncharacteristic threes with defenders running at his face. Mm-hmm. It just felt like, it just is what it is. I think it was one of those nights where you get your ring, you feel great, you're happy that basketball is back, and one team had all the momentum and they rode it, and the other team tried their hardest to get some momentum, and it just couldn't catch fire. And it also seemed like everybody caught fire individually. Cat, he started off really good, then flamed out. Then Brunson started off really, really good. He was good throughout his
entire. Shout out my boy. I know who you're gonna say next. I'm listening. Yeah. Go ahead.
But Brunson, he started off good. He remained good. It just felt like it was just him. OG, I think OG was pressing. OG was forcing a lot of shots. He wasn't getting to his natural positions, hitting the midi. His spots on the court where he knows where he's comfortable at shooting a 3. Mikal started off horrible. And everybody was just like, "Oh, look at him! Well, he changed his motion, and we should have never traded for him." And then what happens? Like he got comfortable, he got good, he got hot in the second half. Third quarter, he was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna go out there and play ball. Doesn't really matter." And that's what he did. Josh Hart, I need you to stop being a cone out there. I need you to hit some threes. They leaving you wide open on the three, Papa. You just you look in the past. Like you got to be way more aggressive. Like I get like you out there for defense and to set the tone defensively, but yo, that went out the window as soon as they punched out in the mouth.
Yeah, I mean to be fair on Josh Hart's part, he doesn't shoot particularly well. That's why they say there's two reasons. There's a reason why you're out there all alone. There's two reasons. It's either the defensive lapse. Steph Curry even gets left alone sometimes.
Yeah.
But then there's just where you're just trash from three, and we're like, you know what? We're gonna live with those. If he takes that and if he goes a whole night and he shoots 4 for 10, it's like that's a fantastic night for y'all. Do your thing. But how many nights is he gonna do that? How many nights is he gonna take 10 threes? It's just not in his makeup. So it's just like you're gonna live with those numbers. And that's what they did. And you left out my boy Deuce McBride. That's who I thought you was going to talk about next. That's the real star who came off the bench, did what he did. Deuce the only one who looked like he wanted to play out there. Nobody else came to play.
I ain't gonna lie,
but
Deuce
I think like the downfall,
2 back-to-back threes. Deuce was,
bro. I think one of the downfalls of the night. It started off early, and it was the very first shot of the game. Come down, set a screen with Towns, man. And you're playing against the Celtics and you're in drop coverage.
Yeah.
Tatum laced that first 3 of the game, and I just knew it was over. It just ain't stopped.
Just set the tone. Yeah, it
ain't.
They set the tone from open tip, and you
can't.
Then,
like I said, we can't have overreactions. You got to think about it. Your number one,
game one.
Your number one defender, big defender out there, is injured. We got to give him that. And then when you think about it, you got to rag on Karl Anthony Towns on defense because he was getting abused.
Yeah.
I'm going to rag on him. And the thing about it is like, we got to sit there and think about it, guys. There's a reason why in Minnesota they brought in Rudy.
Yeah, there is a reason. But and
it's because it's defense. But go ahead.
It was also telling because he looked unsure in switches. He looked unsure if he was going to, go hedge or if he was going to drop. He looked very unsure. And I think that's also a communication thing. You have 2 fantastic wings that could defend. And you put them in terrible positions with lack of communication.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're literally setting the screen to get Cat either to the side of you, because once you have that to the side, Cat is indecisive on what he wants to do. Am I going to defend it or am I going to drop because I got to worry about the paint? He's very indecisive. But when you have 2 fantastic wings, I would let them worry because they could defend down there. They're strong. Well, not Mikal so much, but OG is strong enough to drop down and do some paint coverage real quick.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it's also a thing where you have to trust your teammate. This is a brand new team. They have to get together. They have to gel. I'm not going to overreact. I think that this will be an overreaction for me if this was All-Star break. These guys have been playing 40 games together, and then you get blown out like this in Boston. Now it's an overreaction to me because this shouldn't happen. There were so many defensive miscues. There was so many, even on offense. On offense, it almost seemed like they didn't know exactly what they wanted to do on offense. Brunson was just like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna take it in. What are y'all doing? Mikal didn't get going into the third quarter because after a while, I guess they was just like, look, we're gonna do this or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna overreact. I just think that like Celtics had a really, really good night. It was ring night. It was ring. You can't be embarrassed on ring night.
Yeah,
You just can't. You can't. You can't get smoked. You could lose on ring night, but you can't get embarrassed on ring night. It wasn't like the Knicks was gonna come out and smoke them by 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, but also you can't be the team to get smoked on ring night.
Bro, put up a fight back.
Yeah, fight back. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
Man.
that
was a bad watch. It was a bad watch.
It was.
Oh man, the Lakers and the James boys. Do you think that they waited too long to bring Bronny out?
No. I ain't gonna lie. Look, I think it was the right time. It was the perfect time. They were up like 10 points. And the thing about it is you don't want him to come in at a time in the game where it's close enough where the other team can make a run, and now you got to blame Bronny.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, that would have put a lot of dirt on his name. Oh, yeah. He comes in and now they start losing. Like, even if they up 10 points, if they start losing, they just take them out, go with the unit that was winning, and possibly boost that game back up to where it was. But you know what I mean? But if it's a close game and now they start losing, now you got to fight back for real against Minnesota.
Yeah. And that game was a little surprising to me as well.
Of course,
the Lakers showed that they showed me a lot. That I mean, and again, I don't want to overreact. It is just game one, but you can tell a lot from a team from their mistakes, and you could tell a lot from about a team from what they do well. And the Lakers look like they're doing. If they could keep this momentum and everything that they've done right. This game, it looks like they can contend. They can be one of those 8 West teams that can compete. Will they be able to go to another finals? That's still to be determined. I'm not going to overreact over one game, but you come out, you beat the you beat a really good team in Minnesota, who everybody has going to the finals, or at least one of their finals picks.
Yeah, at least Western Conference Finals team.
Right, at the very least. And you take care of business. And this is just game one. Again, I don't want to overreact, but I liked everything that I saw. And I think that JJ Redick is gonna get a lot of props this year, but he's also gonna get a lot of flack. The losses, he's going to get tremendous flack. But on the wins like today, like yesterday, he's not going to get that credit. The cerebral, the out coaching the other coach, the putting guys in good positions to win, the rotations, knowing your personnel. I think he did a really good job in his debut as a head coach. And JJ is very smart. X's and O's.
I'm on the flip side of that. I think the man's going to get all the credit he deserves. I think the way we even seen it from the preseason, knew from the preseason what was going on. And he's going to get the credit because you just dealt with Darvin Ham, someone whose offense was lackluster for them. It's just like, go out there and do what you got to do to win us a game. JJ is putting all of these people in positions to win by doing a lot of handoffs. You got James screening. You got AD playing in the middle of the post where it's just like, we don't just have him out there spacing, just having a regular pick and roll between James and AD. We got these guys in the middle doing handoffs to each other, making plays, doing get actions, running a lot of horns. And you got everybody from your bench.
JJ feels about horns.
Yeah, we got everybody going in there playing their role and just fitting into this offense and actually running basketball. It's just not like it's not
go out there and play. We're running schemes.
Yeah, we're running give LeBron the ball and have him tired because he's been getting pick and rolls and trying to beat a matchup, find the matchup he want, and do this all day. Yeah, that man is he's 40 years old. That man's gonna be gassed by the time they hit playoff time.
Like he was last year.
Exactly. So it's like just to have them do that and have AD look dominant on both sides of the floor.
Yeah.
I think the Lakers win, lose, draw this season just from the offense advancement is already good enough for me.
No overreaction, but can you see him in contention for Coach of the Year?
Man, it's just one game.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No overreaction, but can you from what we've all the good that we saw from yesterday's game,
just literally from the change of their offense and how they've been moving.
Yeah,
you can see that period. See just a change, and it's tough to go for Coach of the Year when you have LeBron James.
Yeah.
And AD on the sideline with you, on the court with you. You know what I mean? So it's tough. But it's just like from what you see and how they're playing, you seen Rui Hachimura with the poster. Like
Rui was eating last night, bro. Rui was eating.
So it's just like
we don't need no Randall trade. Rui was
exactly.
eating.
So it's like, and then that's what we got to think about on the other end. You still was going against a Minnesota who's trying to get their kinks and everything together.
Yeah, that too.
Well.
Yeah.
Not to just move on from the Lakers, but I think we talked enough about the Lakers to say that Minnesota, they just got to be a little better.
Yeah, they got to be a little bit better. All right, man. Another game yesterday. I said that this was going to be a good game. And you gave me the face.
No, I didn't. I said this was the one I was going to watch. I said add to the game that they had on TNT.
Oh, okay. You was talking about the other with the Atlanta Hawks and all. Yeah,
I was talking about the Sixers.
The Sixers. Oh, the Sixers too. Yeah,
because that was the main game on TNT, and I was saying like, yo, they just needed to take that off and put. And I was sitting here saying because that's the game I was gonna watch, Orlando and Miami, and that's the game that I watched. I'm like, yo, they need to put that on the air. Is what I was really thinking. I ain't mean like.
My boy Mitch said, "F the Lakers."
I mean, it's a fact, man. At the end of the day, it's still gonna be after Lakers.
Wait, hold up, yo, bitch, you from Cali, bro? That's your team, man. You a Clipper fan? You a Clipper fan? We gonna get to the Clippers in a second, man.
But sure, man. Yeah. We're gonna get about them.
Is it trouble in Miami, or was it just Orlando defenses really like that? Because I think the stat line was a combined 2 for like 18 from Bam and Butler. So is it Orlando is really like that, or it was just Miami just had a really bad game?
You got to go with a little bit of both, but Orlando is definitely like that. I'm gonna put it more on that side where Orlando is like that on defense. You got to understand. Last year, their defense Last year, their defense was a top 5 defense.
Top 2.
And guess who they added? They added KCP. So now you added another defender in your starting lineup. Now you got your defenders coming off the bench too. Now.
Yep.
You got a versatile and Jonathan Isaac coming off as well. Like, this is a nightmare matchup for a lot of people.
A lot of teams.
And when you look at Orlando's lineup, you got your point guard and your shooting guard are your defensive stoppers. These are your perimeter stoppers.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and then it's just not like you don't have any slouches back there. You got Franz and Paolo. I'm not sitting here saying like they're fantastic defenders, but they defend within the team concept and they're big enough just to make things tough on you.
Yeah. And that's all you want. You just want to make things difficult.
Make things difficult.
And then on top of that, they got a whole bunch of sharpshooters that can defend. That's the hardest part to defend somebody. Not only can they box you up, but they can go on the other end and shoot you out. It's tough, man. I think it's gonna be tough for any team. We don't talk about them on the game. Yo, Riley, relax.
It's Charlotte, actually.
Oh, it's Charlotte?
Yeah, she's the loud one.
Jeez, stop. But yeah, I don't think Orlando gets enough credit and enough talk like they didn't last year. And I understand the past couple of years that they've been building, but last year they was fantastic defensively. The only thing that we questioned was offense and closing out games. And they started to kind of figure that out throughout the end of the season. coming into this season, I felt like the additions that they had, KCP, Jonathan Isaac is a full healthy season behind him coming into this year. You have the pieces. Orlando should be in that conversation. And they don't get from the top media, they don't get that recognition. You get the Indiana, you get the Knicks, you get Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly. This is or in Cleveland, this is a top 4 team in the East, easily, defensive loan. And if they could hold you to 80, if they could hold you to under 100, under 95, they're winning that game. Yeah. So I man, shout out to Orlando, man. They have a blue chip, blue collar squad. Everything that they say Miami is, Orlando is that times 2.
I wouldn't go that far because
defensively.
But like you said, the one thing that they're still missing is a top tier shot creator at the guard position, because you got Franz and Paolo as wings, as forwards, fantastic at creating their own thing, getting something situated, playing through the offense, and taking advantage of matchups that they get into.
But they don't have anybody at the.
But they don't have anybody at the guard position who really creates that, like like one of them Kyrie Irving effects and something like that, like a Jordan Clarkson type effect. Even if you get a Jordan Clarkson type of thing going on, that would create a different dynamic and give them that possibility of truly being one of those. Like, you could be a top team, you could be, like you said, a top 4, top 5 team in the East. But what does that even say? Because it's in the East.
Yeah.
You still
want to be in the league.
Exactly. So it's just like, you've got to figure out a way to get that top tier creator on your side. And then you'll become one of those teams. But they're still a fantastic team that I love to watch. Because I think their dynamic of ball and the team structure is fantastic moving into this new day and age of basketball.
I also feel like it's not just about having a guard that can create his own shot. It's also about a guard that's going to put you in position to win the game late. You look at all these other teams, like the top teams that we're talking about, they have guards that are going to put you in position to win the game late. When I talked about them last year, when I talked about Orlando, I said that they don't have a true closer. They was trying to put Paolo into that position, and it was working throughout the end of the stretch. He was figuring out where he needed to be on the floor in order to put his team in position. But you don't want the ball in the hands of somebody who's not the primary ball handler to decide how that game is going to ultimately outcome.
And that's the thing. I think they had the ball in the wrong person's hand, because at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it a stack. Even though they don't have a top tier creator in a guard position, they have Franz Wagner.
I was just gonna say that they have a
who has more of a skill set to finish the game.
He does,
as far as creating a different type of shot, So I just feel like that he's more skill set oriented to being a finisher, that closer, than Paolo.
But they don't. But they don't. They give it some. They defer to Paolo.
They do it every once. I ain't gonna lie.
Every once in a while, they do. They do,
and I love it. But it's just
I'd much rather them have a guard in that position, because, like I said, the way that this league has been tailored to, the way that this league is going towards right now, it's the ball. The ball has to be in a dominant ball handler's hand that has high IQ, that knows how to close out the game. Am I going to keep this and drive to the hoop? Am I going to try to draw a foul? Am I going to take this shot? Am I going to do something to draw the defense to me so I can make the correct pass? You need a ball handler. You look at the top teams. Look at Dallas. They have Kyrie, and they have the luxury of having 2 with Kyrie and Luka. You look at OKC, they have Shai. You look at even with Philly, you have Maxey. I mean, Maxey is not somebody you want to dominate the entire game, but I don't mind him having the ball in his hands you've seen what he did in the playoffs. He did it against the Knicks.
Yep.
So you need somebody who at the guard position that's going to be able to see the floor very well and know to make the right read. I think Halliburton is another person that we're all high on, that has come into his own and can do that as a closer at the end of the game. You look at, I'd say 15, 16 of the top teams, they all have a primary ball handler that can create his own shot and that can help close out a game.
Yeah.
Orlando just needs that.
Yeah, definitely. What?
But I ain't put it up here. But yeah, the Clippers.
Oh, yeah,
their
yeah,
game.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, that was their game. That was their game.
Yeah.
Suns was dead to rights, man.
Yeah. But when you got
James Harden, man.
And,
no,
James
I can't even say, because if James Harden doesn't have 2 costly turnovers at the end of the fourth quarter, doesn't give the Suns the ammunition to force overtime.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. You can't have that. You can't have that. You can't have a turnover that late, that costly, that late, that close in the game. You can't. It was a dumb read.
We also gotta sit here and think about at the end of the day. Those boys don't have Kawhi Leonard. Those boys don't have nobody. Well, yeah, we gotta talk about it. But come on, he would have alleviated some pressure where that wouldn't even have to come down to that. At the end of the day, we talk about that on-ball creation, that we need a guard out there. Well, guess what? When it comes down to it too, at the end of the day, you need an elite wing. Yeah. And that's what Kawhi is. He's somebody who don't turn over the ball at the quarters like that. You don't think about it like that when you think of Kawhi. Yeah. Harden is a perfect example of how I sit there and even talk about the game of basketball. You need a 1 to 3 guard. A person who's going to first quarter to third quarter is going to be that guard that keep y'all situated, do this, that, and the third. And during the fourth quarter, he just getting that ball to the guy who needs the ball him for real. Yeah. But that guard is going to be tired by the end of that. And guess what? Mental fatigue, physical fatigue, all that shit goes into a factor by the end of the game where you're getting turnovers.
Do you think that Harden has too much responsibility right now with
yes, this is way too much. At the end of the day, the last time we seen Harden be one of the focal points of an offense who's guaranteed success was in Houston. Since then, he put that fat suit on and he changed. He hasn't been the same. Even though he got rid of the fat, that's still on his back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he still got the back fat or something there. I don't know. But it ain't the same. He's getting old. His crossover, he ain't got that first step like he had, no matter how good he looked.
He does look a little slow.
It's not the same.
A tad bit. Yeah, it's not.
So it's like you're not going to be that high efficient guard needed to close. Like, it's a lot for him right now. And if you get that win, it's like kudos. Wow, that's crazy. That's a great win. But at the end of the day, when I looked at that matchup, they were expected to lose.
No, yeah, they was expected to lose.
Game, fantastic. This is a great game for your first game in arena. If you would have won, it would have been fantastic. Even though you didn't win, it was still a fantastic game. Put seats in the arena because you see what the team is going to be giving you out throughout the year.
Yeah, I like their bench. I think that they have a team that I want to say that can compete, like seriously compete, Western Conference and all that. But I think that they have a team that's competitive, and that's 2 different sides of the spectrum. You know, when you have a team that's that's a contender, they're expected to be in the playoffs. They're expected to make noise. They're expected to go to ultimately get to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think they're one of these teams. I think that they're going to be a competitive team throughout this year, with all their players, and especially what you saw from Game 1. I think they're going to be super competitive. I think that they're going to catch contending teams on the chin. They're going to catch them. And it's going to be one of those ones where it's like, oh, they just beat OKC by like 10. They caught them sleeping. They're going to have to catch a lot of these teams sleeping just by being uber competitive. Going out there and just trying to compete every single night. I think that they have that makeup. I just don't think that they're going to be contending. And it sucks because Kawhi is going to be out for God knows
Did you?
how long.
Did you
And
see? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Did you see the report where Kawhi's camp is suing the Clippers?
Are you serious?
Yes, for the injury concerns and everything. I just literally was starting to watch a video on it. I don't know much about it. I was just starting to watch a video to get a deep dive into it before you text me. And we had this situation where, trying to get this situated.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if we'll talk. I'm gonna see you about it. But
we'll talk about it next episode. We'll get some more details.
At the end of the day, he's suing them, the doctors and stuff, for mismanagement or something like this. I don't know what's with his camp, but this been a thing since the Spurs. I don't know what type of game he is running. Not a thing, but a scheme. It's a scam somewhere in there. Yeah, he do want to. I know he went out, but it's a scheme or a scam in there, bro. It's got to be millions involved somewhere. I know.
Yeah. But yeah, if you notice this, how this, because it's just so weird that he was going to the Olympics and then they shut him down 2 practices in. Mind you, the reports was he was moving. He was great. He looked good during the practices at the Olympics. And then coming into the season, they're like, oh, he's out indefinitely because of knee inflammation, and we don't want to risk our superstar, which is all fine and dandy. But if you look at past history, this is everything that happened with the Spurs. Exactly what happened with the Spurs. And if this lawsuit, if there's any credibility to the lawsuit, this is exactly like the Spurs, because wasn't it his uncle and his dad who was
something like
fighting with the San Antonio management about how they're treating his injury,
or something like that.
Yeah, and then it forced his way to Toronto. So this is definitely something we need to keep an eye on. I'll do a little bit more research, as I'm sure you will, and we'll reconvene on this on the next episode. But yeah, man. I mean, this looks a lot like San Antonio. Just a little bit. I
don't care what anybody say.
Just a little bit. But I mean, if he's trying to force his way out, I'm mad at it, but I'm not mad at it at the same time. And I'll tell you what. I'm not mad at it because obviously me and you, we are a pro player. We're always going to root for the player. But I am mad at it because
I'm not.
I'm mad at it because
I'm about what's fair. Go ahead.
In the past 3 years, how much has he played? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you're supposed to be one of, like, you was the LeBron killer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you was labeled as, the claw, the LeBron killer, the guy who was going out there to destroy and lock up whoever superstar you put in front of him. And right now, you are the bench killer, the cushion killer. You know, when you put the sitting on a chair too long, you get that t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it, man. And I mean, if something's, I mean, like I said, I mean, God forbid anything is actually wrong. If he has a true injury, if this is actually real and he's really setting out for his health, then more power to him, Godspeed, healthy recovery. But if this is San Antonio all over again, teams have to be wary on what they're getting. It's a rental. I'm getting this guy in hopes of getting a championship. Hopefully it turns out like Toronto, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But anyway, any surprises so far from opening week? You want to talk about how the Warriors don't need Steph to drop 30 in order to win? They just need him to get a damn near triple-double. You want to talk about how the Pistons actually looked really, really good, and Kate Cunningham is turning out to be something. He's turned out to be something. You want to talk about how the Bucks blew out the listless 76ers and how how we're gonna preserve Embiid's health so he could be in the playoffs.
Honestly, I didn't want to talk about any of them. You know, as a Warriors fan, I wanted to talk about Steph a little, but it's just like, yo, at the end of the day, my man, if they wasn't smoking him so bad, that would have been a triple-double opening night. We're gonna put that there. I would say a surprise, but I'm not surprised. I think the over and under, I probably had under 5 games it would have took.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have won that. But to have it in one game, is Draymond getting a technical? Who would have dunked it? The very first game of the season. You're 14 more away, buddy, for a suspension. Go crazy.
You know what's crazy? I bet $1. I won $15 on that. I'm swearing, I'm gonna send you the screenshot. I bet $1 that he would get a technical game 1, bro. I bought $15.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. Like this man is destructive.
It's crazy.
Hold your head.
I like how the Warriors their makeup is right now. I first of all, I love Buddy Hill coming off the bench.
The bench,
crazy with Moody too. That's the craziest part when you pairing him with Moody, because I think Moody is really an underrated role player. Moody, he's an underrated defender. I think he's an overrated offensive player. I say overrated because a lot of people think that he's more of this offensive guy that could do all these things, when I think he's at the mean. He's at the average. He's a good offensive player who could hit down open threes and stuff like that, but he's not somebody that's gonna come off the bench and give you Jordan Clarkson. He's not somebody that's gonna give you 16 to 20 every night. He's somebody that's gonna give you anywhere between 10 to 20 a night.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think anybody expects more than that. So I don't know about overrated. I think what your picks are overrated with us watching his development.
Okay, I can see that.
You see what I'm saying? Because him playing a game and coming off his screens, actually making reads off his screens, that's something you wouldn't even think about him doing year one. It just naturally, like watching Pods come and doing it, you're like, that's just his natural makeup.
Yeah, watching it wasn't in Moody.
Yeah, watching Moody do it right now, you're like, I can see it happening. Right. And I like it. So it's like, and we want to see him do it more because we want him to develop that. So it's like, I see what you're saying. You're like, yo, it's really not him.
But it is.
It's in him, but it's just not right. We saying it's not pronounced. And so it's like, I think it's just the development of it is that we're hyping up and loving.
I also need to see more from Pods. I didn't like what I saw from Pods.
I mean, the guy got a broken nose. He took a charge with a broken nose. I like it. It's not what you wanted to see more from
Pods,
him.
Man. 0 for 5, 0 for 4, so much 3. More. I do. I expect a lot from Pods.
It's a guy with a mask on his face, getting used to the mask and real game speed.
I'm happy. Break. And I'm happy this Looney experiment is over. I like Looney. I really do. But Looney is not a starter to me, bro. He's not, and he never was. I think that Looney is good in spurts. He's like the other what's the other the big white guy that they had that they won a championship with. The Bogut. He's like Bogut.
Don't do it.
No. Bogut was good, but I'd much rather Bogut was.
I'm taking Bogut.
I would take Bogut. Yeah, but what I'm saying is Looney is not. He's not a starting. Like, I'm not putting him at the 5. I like Jackson at the 5. I like Kuminga, and Green interchangeable at the 4.
But you know what's the thing? I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Looney is a starter. He's a starter in a lot of teams you go to, and
I say a 4, not as a 5.
Not even at a 4. No, he can't have
I
a big.
wouldn't say
But
it's
the
a
thing
5,
about
bro.
it,
But it depends on what team you're putting them on.
This
is
bro, is you
Go ahead.
talk about 4, but he can't shoot. He don't space the floor. He don't do any of that. So he's a 5.
So he would have to be
And
a 5.
the
Okay.
thing about it is when he was, you give him 3 years ago, whatever, he was moving a little better.
Yeah.
And he was more serviceable at that. And then he's a starter because he's a dog. He do the dirty work. He don't complain. He do what he got to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when you want a dog who's just going to do all the stuff that you need him to do, he's not going to complain. He's going to make things happen in his most physical makeup. And he's going to contest shots vertical. He's going to just be where you need him to be. He's like Al Horford without the jump shot.
That's actually a really good comparison.
That's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like Al Horford starts and nobody says anything.
Yeah,
why? Because he can shoot a 3. He can shoot a 3. That's why you don't say anything.
Yeah, but the reason why we also don't say anything is because we don't have other people on. Well, I can't say we. Boston doesn't have other people on the floor that can't shoot. When you have Looney on the floor with Green, both of them dudes can't shoot.
But that's the thing.
It shrinks the floor.
It shrinks the floor. But that's the thing also with this team. It's a whole different makeup because the floor is shrunk, but the floor is shrunk by design. When you think about it, now you got 2 people who's damn near in the paint and leaving those open areas for Steph to shoot a 3, for Paz to shoot a 3, for all the Warriors to shoot 3s.
Okay.
And that's the reason why he didn't work so much with other guys like Kuminga, because Kuminga's not a connector, somebody who makes a screen like Draymond off ball and do all those little things. So that's why it's like, yo, these guys don't work with him too well. But when you think about him 2-3 years ago, when those guys weren't really there or it wasn't that big as a, you know what I mean? As a player, he seems more better and more suited. And then obviously without the injuries.
Yeah.
But we're not going to disrespect my boy Looney.
If I tell you that the Warriors won by 30 and Steph only took 10 shots, what would be your reaction?
We're playing the Trailblazers. That's what it's saying. We're playing the Trailblazers. These boys are bombs. Man. But yeah, that's a fact. It's crazy. That's a crazy thing. But I don't think I'm kind of done talking about them. I want to talk about my boy LaMelo Ball, who's basically Steph Curry. On his neck. He's basically the Steph Curry of this era because he can't stay healthy. His ankles just like no.
Yeah. Wait, he got injured again?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay, all right.
But that's the only reason I sit there and say that about him. Is because
he damn near had a triple-double too.
He damn near had a triple-double. He did his thing.
He put the team on his back.
8 rebounds, 11 assists. And did we see Brandon Miller out there with that boom on? Oh, yeah, boy. He got 2 posters already. One in the preseason, one in the first game. Come on, man. I just like what Charlotte got going on. And you know, we had the Charlotte versus the Raptors thing last season.
Yeah.
We ain't really keep up with it.
No, we didn't.
But quickly, man, my boy went down with a hip injury already. First game of the season.
Yeah, that's tough.
He ain't come back out. Like, that's a surprise. Like, come on, bro. It's first game. We need to see something out of y'all. But I don't think it's really any much other stuff that was going on.
I mean, shout out Sengun. Shout out Sengun. That boy, I said it last year that a healthy Sengun, Houston could be. They could be a little, So Sengun put up. I think he had like a double at half, bro. So I mean, he finished with 25, 18, and 5, 2 for 3 from 3, 10 for 22 from the field. Jalen Green was doing everything he could. I just think that I don't like what they're starting right now, and I understand like how they're doing it, but I don't like their starters. I don't like what they're putting on the floor. I like Jabari, I like Sengun, I like Green, I like Van Vliet. I don't like Brooks starting. I think that they need a quality wing, like it's trade for trade for
You know
Kawhi,
what?
see what you could
You
get.
know what? Nah, you know what the thing too I don't really like too is because you got so much young talent out there. Like even when they brought in Van Vliet, I was just like, you got Jalen Green. You're trying to figure out what he could do. You got Şengün. You want to put him in more post up. See, what he got going on. What they could work together. And it's just like,
Yeah, it's it's tough. I mean, Jabari's young too. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
it is tough. I do like Van Vliet because Van Vliet gives you leadership. He gives you that guy, but he's already the point guard. So to have
Bro.
Brooks out there too with Green, they just need a quality wing. They need a quality three who's gonna give you buckets in
But
spurts, like when he's open, and they need somebody that can defend.
But that's the thing about it. They have quality wings off the bench. You got Torrey Eason, you got Amen Thompson, you got Cam Whitmore, and that's what I'm saying. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's the only problem with Brooks is the fact that who he is in this league right now. It's like it's nothing wrong with him, but it's just the fact that he's more of an older vet. He's gonna get his time, and it's like Houston, you're not winning right now.
And I like
get their trade, get their value up so you could trade them or something. Go ahead.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And I like Brooks. I think Brooks brings he's the enforcer. He brings something.
Toughness.
But with these type of guys, you want them coming off the bench to set the tone. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the Gary Payton effect. The Gary Payton Jr. effect. You want him to come in off the bench. Whoever I'm in front of, I'm doing what I got to do. I'm doing all the dirty work, and then I'm gonna go back to the bench and let the starters finish the game.
Yeah,
that's what you need guys like that, and it's okay.
And we seen it when they won, when they was winning at least before. He was hurt. He got hurt. Yeah. If Gary Payton was the best option to be in, Kerr had him in.
Facts.
Understand that. Like, that's how you get your spots. That's how you get your minutes. But that's how the young boys got to play as well. When they go in there, they got to be dogs to the point where it's like, yo, Brooks, you got to sit down because you see Eason, you see Cam, they doing their thing. So it's like they also got to force the hand of the coaches. But it's just like, it's going to be tough when you're only getting 10 minutes a game. You got to make those 10 minutes crucial. And it's just
have to make them count.
With Van Vliet and all of them, bro, they already got their minutes set, and it's just tough, bro. That's the reason why I didn't like them picking them up, period.
Well, Van Vliet or Brooks?
Van Vliet and Brooks. I ain't like them picking up neither one of them.
I was okay with Van Vliet. I wasn't okay with
Brooks. I was like, all right, cool, Van Vliet, because they needed a guard.
They needed a guard, they needed a point guard. And they needed somebody that could come in and also be a leader that knows how to win. Yeah,
but I'm trying to develop. I don't need y'all taking shots and plays from my guys.
Take it over. Yeah. I got you.
You see what I'm saying? So,
take us out, man.
Man, I think that's the end of the night, man. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Like, share, sub, and all the above. Your boys are signing out. Opening week. It's been crazy so far. Can't wait for the weekend. See some of these hot games, man. And you know where we're going to be. We're going to be here the same time next week. I don't know if it's the same time. We have technical difficulties.
Yeah. It was him.
But we'll be here.